Welcome to Infographica Central. Today we delve into something truly unusual and chilling. The story of a notorious figure known for his reign of terror. Imagine a charming smile, a charismatic gaze, the kind of face that could easily win your trust, make you feel at ease, and even draw you in with a sense of familiarity. It's the face of someone you might pass on the street and think nothing of, yet it holds a secret so dark it would send shivers down your spine if you knew the truth. Now picture that face, forever etched in the nightmares of those who survived him. A face that once seemed so benign, now a haunting reminder of terror and betrayal. Survivors recount the chilling moments when that charming smile turned into a sinister grin, revealing the true nature of the man behind it. This is the Serpent, a man whose charm masked a heart of pure darkness. Known for his ability to manipulate and deceive, his life is a testament to the duality of human nature. On the surface, he was suave and sophisticated, but beneath that veneer lay a calculating and ruthless predator. How did this seemingly ordinary man become a byword for evil, leaving a trail of death and despair across Southeast Asia in the 1970s? His transformation from a petty criminal to a notorious serial killer is a story of cunning, manipulation, and cold-blooded murder. His journey into darkness began with small-time scams and thefts, but his ambitions soon grew, leading him down a path of unimaginable horror. His crimes, as cold and calculated as they were brutal, continue to shock and horrify. Each act was meticulously planned, executed with precision, and left little room for error. His victims were often young travelers, lured by his charm and promises of adventure, only to find themselves ensnared in his deadly web. He was a master manipulator, a chameleon who could blend in and disappear, leaving behind a trail of shattered lives. His ability to assume different identities and evade capture for years made him one of the most elusive criminals of his time. He moved through countries and continents with ease, always staying one step ahead of the law. He was a predator who preyed on the kindness of strangers, turning their trust into his own twisted game. His victims were often young, idealistic, and eager to explore the world. They saw him as a fellow traveler, a friend, and a guide, never suspecting the danger that lurked beneath his friendly exterior. But what drove him to such depths? Was it a thirst for power, a desire for control, or something even more sinister? To understand him, we must delve into the complexities of his psyche, exploring the factors that shaped him into the monster he became. His childhood, marked by instability and neglect, may have sown the seeds of his later behavior. As he grew older, his need for dominance and his lack of empathy became more pronounced, leading him to commit acts of unspeakable cruelty. His early years were fraught with challenges. Born to an Indian father and a Vietnamese mother, his mixed heritage made him an outsider in many communities. His parents' tumultuous relationship and eventual separation left him feeling abandoned and unloved. These formative experiences likely contributed to his deep-seated need for control and his ability to detach emotionally from his actions. As a young man, he turned to petty crime as a means of survival and rebellion. His early encounters with the law only served to hone his skills in deception and manipulation. He quickly learned how to exploit the weaknesses of others, using his charm to gain their trust before betraying them. This pattern of behavior would become a hallmark of his criminal career. His rise to infamy was marked by a series of increasingly audacious crimes. He targeted young travelers, often posing as a friendly guide or a fellow adventurer. His victims, drawn in by his charisma, were unaware of the danger they faced until it was too late. His methods were as varied as they were brutal, ranging from poisoning to strangulation, each act carefully calculated to avoid detection. Despite his cunning, his reign of terror could not last forever. An international manhunt was launched, with law enforcement agencies from multiple countries working together to bring him to justice. His eventual capture was a testament to the tireless efforts of those who refused to let his crimes go unpunished. Yet even in captivity, his manipulative nature remained as he continued to charm and deceive those around him. Today, he remains a figure of fascination and revulsion. His life story serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind even the most charming facades. As we reflect on his crimes, we are left to ponder the nature of evil and the factors that can drive a person to commit such heinous acts. His legacy is one of pain and suffering, but it also serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of misplaced trust and the enduring power of human resilience.
Born in Saigon in 1944, my life began in a city teeming with energy and chaos. The streets were alive with the sounds of vendors calling out their wares, the clatter of bicycles, and the hum of conversations in a myriad of languages. Yet amidst this vibrant backdrop, my early years were anything but colorful. My early life was marked by instability and neglect. My mother, overwhelmed by the demands of survival in a bustling city, often left me to fend for myself. I wandered the streets, a small figure lost in the crowd, searching for scraps of food and moments of kindness. Abandoned by my father and feeling rejected by my mother's new husband, I was a child adrift in a sea of indifference. My stepfather's disdain was palpable, and my mother's attention was a rare and fleeting gift. I learned early on that love was conditional and often out of reach. I grew up feeling like an outsider, a ghost in my own life. The bustling city around me was a constant reminder of my isolation. I watched other children play, their laughter a stark contrast to my own silent suffering. I longed to belong, but the world seemed determined to keep me at arm's length. Petty crimes soon escalated, landing me my first stint in prison. The cold, hard walls of my cell were a stark reminder of my failures, but they also offered a strange sense of security. Here at least I knew my place. It was within these confines that I began to understand the power of control and manipulation. It was here, behind bars, that the seeds of my dark ambition were sown. Surrounded by hardened criminals, I learned the art of survival. I observed, I listened, and I adapted. The prison became my school, and I was an eager student, absorbing lessons in deceit and treachery. I learned to exploit others, honing my skills of deception. I discovered that a well-placed lie could open doors, and a calculated act of kindness could earn me allies. I became a master of manipulation, weaving intricate webs of deceit to achieve my goals. I cultivated an air of sophistication, masking my true nature behind a veneer of charm. I studied the mannerisms of the wealthy and the powerful, mimicking their speech and their gestures. I learned to blend in, to become invisible in plain sight. My transformation was complete. I was no longer the neglected child of Saigon, but a sophisticated predator. By the time I was released, I was no longer a petty criminal. I was a cunning predator, ready to unleash my darkness upon the world. The city that had once rejected me would now become my hunting ground. I was determined to take what I believed was rightfully mine, using any means necessary. I was a cunning predator, ready to unleash my darkness upon the world. The lessons I had learned in prison had transformed me, and I was eager to put them to use. The world had shown me no mercy, and I intended to return the favor. My journey from a neglected child to a sophisticated criminal was complete, and I was ready to embrace my new identity.
The idyllic beaches of Thailand, known for their serene beauty and tranquil waters, became the hunting ground for a man whose name would become synonymous with terror and deceit. These picturesque landscapes, often depicted in travel brochures as paradise on earth, masked the dark intentions of a predator lurking in the shadows. Young backpackers, drawn by the allure of adventure and the promise of new experiences, became his unsuspecting prey. They came from all corners of the globe, seeking the thrill of exploration and the joy of discovering new cultures. Little did they know they were walking into a carefully laid trap, orchestrated by a man who thrived on manipulation and control. His first known victim, Teresa Knowlton, was a young woman full of life and dreams. In 1975, her body was discovered drowned on the shores of Pattaya Beach. The initial shock of her death sent ripples through the community, but the true horror of her fate would only be revealed in the years to come. Her lifeless body, clad in a bikini, was a stark and haunting image. It was a sight that would haunt the memories of those who found her, and a grim reminder of the dangers that lurked beneath the surface of paradise. This tragic discovery hinted at the sinister pattern that would come to define Sobraj's reign of terror. He was a master of disguise and deception, able to blend into any environment and gain the trust of his victims with ease.
Teresa, like many others, was lured into Sobraj's web of deceit. She was a free spirit, eager to explore the world and make new friends. Sobraj, with his charm and charisma, seemed like the perfect companion for her journey. He offered her friendship, a sense of belonging, and the promise of unforgettable adventures. but beneath his friendly facade lay a heart of darkness. His gestures of kindness were nothing more than a means to an end, a way to gain her trust and make her vulnerable. Once he had her trust, he drugged her, rendering her helpless and at his mercy. The drugs he used were potent, designed to incapacitate his victims and make them easy targets for his nefarious plans. Teresa, disoriented and unable to defend herself, was left to drown in the surf. The water that had once seemed so inviting and refreshing became a deadly trap, pulling her under and silencing her forever.
Her death, initially dismissed as a tragic accident, was a devastating blow to her family and friends. They mourned her loss, believing it to be a senseless tragedy. But as more victims began to emerge, the true nature of her death became chillingly clear. Teresa's death would later become a chilling piece in the puzzle of Sobraj's crimes. Each new victim added another layer to the horrifying picture, revealing a pattern of calculated cruelty and cold-blooded murder. The investigation into her death, and the deaths of others, would eventually expose Sobraj's true nature. He was not just a charming traveler, but a ruthless killer who preyed on the innocent and unsuspecting. His reign of terror left a trail of broken lives and shattered dreams, forever staining the beautiful beaches of Thailand with the memory of his crimes.